Good morning. This is John Blaich, the Program Data Analyst in the City of Albuquerque's Human Resources Department. Today I'm going to present my Pre-Management Development Program project, which is Human Resources Management Dashboards. The City of Albuquerque has built a large human resources database of current and past employees, which includes demographic data, hire dates, termination dates, and wages. Employment statistics produced by the city's Human Resources Department are an important gauge of economic vitality, equity and inclusion, and hiring efficiency and effectiveness. However, human resources data are not quickly and easily accessible to city staff. The goal of my Pre-Management Development Program project is to provide easy access to data in web-based management dashboards, which will provide management insights into staffing patterns. The first step in creating management dashboards is to gather the required data on turnover, time to hire, and employee demographics. Decision makers will gain access to the data to identify trends, make strategic decisions, and implement corrective actions. This will help the city improve its efficiency and maximize its economic impact in the community. The city will provide a centralized management portal in Microsoft SharePoint, which will make the dashboards easily accessible. The user will click on large, colorful icons on the SharePoint page, which will link to various web-based dashboards. There will also be helpful links in the sidebar. A link to Kronos, the city's timekeeping application, will be available in the sidebar of the Management Dashboards portal and in all site pages. Now, this is designed to be a one-stop shop, so you can see the screenshot of the portal that's already been created. It includes recruitment metrics, employee turnover, time to hire, employee demographics, applicant demographics, as well as other helpful links to Kronos and eventually IBM Cognos. Now, some of the dashboards are web-based and available in NeoGov, which is the city's application software suite. And some dashboards will be in IBM Cognos, which require data to be transferred from PeopleSoft into Cognos. A link to Time to Hire dashboard in NeoGov will be displayed prominently on the site. NeoGov dashboards are automatically customized for each department through software access controls. This means, for example, that a municipal development human resources coordinator will only see data for the department. The HRIS analyst will write job aids, which will provide interpretation of the data as well as procedures to help managers access and download the data. In addition to statistical data, the management dashboard site will have links to actionable data on the requisition creation and hiring processes, which will help managers address process delays and reduce the time to hire for their departments. Now, time to hire is an important performance metric because it shows hiring efficiency. It shows how quickly we can hire candidates and move them through the application process and get them on the job as quickly as reasonably possible. Now, it's defined as the number of days from a day a person submits an application for a position to the day that they start their job. In addition to time to hire dashboards, managers will also have access to turnover dashboard, presenting employee turnover statistics from 2010 through the current year for all city departments. Statistical data will show employee termination, retire, and transfer rates for the city departments in the current year, as well as historical City of Albuquerque turnover rates. Now, turnover statistics are important because they are a good performance metric and they show hiring effectiveness. And we have a broad variety of turnover rates. Some turnover is healthy, but if you're hiring the right candidates, you should have a fairly low turnover rate. The final performance metric that the management dashboards will cover is equity and inclusion. And these dashboards show candidate demographics and are available to managers and HR coordinators. So the screenshot you see is of a NeoGov dashboard. So these are applicant and hire demographics. And you can see the ethnicity of candidates and the gender of candidates. And we get a good idea of the percentage of applicants that are of various ethnicity and gender, and then the percentage of candidates that are hired across different ethnicity and gender categories. Again, these NeoGov dashboards are automatically customized by department using software access controls. For example, a municipal development HR coordinator will only see data for that department, so there's some security, and candidates can be ensured that their information won't be divulged. While the NeoGov dashboards show demographics for applicants and hires, I wanted to create a dashboard that showed demographics for current city employees and past city employees. I'm very proud of this dashboard because it's visually pleasing and it's easy to use, and it's got a lot of great information in it. This is a Cognos dashboard that includes data from PeopleSoft, and again, it's not applicant data, it's only people that were hired by the city, became employees, and either resigned or retired from the city. Data will be available from 2009 through the current year, and data can be viewed by department for the current year, and historical data will be shown on 6 visually pleasing tabs. These tabs include 2020 ethnicity by gender, 2020 gender by ethnicity, 2020 department by gender, 2020 gender by age, a gender time series, and ethnicity time series. This is a screenshot of the main page. The user can filter by department, by year, and then get a table of the data for download. The main risk identified in the brainstorming exercise is that managers and HR coordinators, as well as directors, will not incorporate dashboarding technologies into their workflow. The management dashboard site needs to be easy to use, visually pleasing, and the information needs to be up to date or real time. The second major risk is that dashboards will not be used effectively to improve the hiring process. Negative outcomes of this would be no reduction in time to hire, failure to reach turnover rate targets at the department level, and lack of diversity and equity and inclusion at the department level. The success of the project is reliant on the data being easily accessible, managers effectively using the data set to set goals, and the department directors leveraging the dashboards to execute strategies to achieve their goals. So some of the risks we identified were that existing dashboard capabilities are not widely used by managers and staff. So we wanted to provide these dashboards, such as those in NeoGov, in a centralized portal to increase their use. We also noted that most human resources data are available in PeopleSoft database. So I will speak later about how we want to transition to more seamless PeopleSoft-based dashboards. So we covered the fact that the data need to be in a centralized location to provide easy access and maximize use. And we want to minimize analyst involvement in the data querying, processing, and dissemination process. So I'm the data analyst, and I spend a lot of my time responding to ad hoc requests. So we want to reduce that, reduce the amount of time that I'm doing that, empower employees to pull their own data and answer their own questions and to manage their own programs. We want to focus on utilizing existing enterprise software and its emerging features. So again, this is PeopleSoft, and we're looking forward to upgrades from PeopleSoft and what's called the Image 34 software, and I'll show you a little bit later in this presentation what those look like. The control plan for my project covers the usability and adoption success of the management dashboards. Feedback will be requested from directors and managers. Improvements will be made to maximize utilization. In addition, the process improvement plan for the HR department will be measured as inputs and outputs in the control plan. So turnover, time to hire, equity, and inclusion are the main performance metrics. Finally, the ultimate rollout of the Workforce Insight dashboards in the next PeopleSoft Image 34 software upgrade will be measured and controlled as part of the completion of this project. In addition to the Microsoft SharePoint landing page that links to NeoGov and Cognos dashboards, we want to transition to a fully integrated dashboard in PeopleSoft, and we've already created some dashboards using this software. This step will require consistent data quality control audits and minor software configuration steps to launch successfully. And the data analyst, me, will be responsible for data quality, as I already am. I perform many quality control audits. The dashboard includes tiles for current headcount, diversity analysis, diversity overview, workforce turnover, and headcount movement. As you can see, a screenshot of the dashboard. It's very useful, and it will also be customized by department. So depending on the row security a user has in PeopleSoft, they will only see data for employees in their department. This has many advantages. It will minimize analyst involvement. So I really enjoy writing queries, but I don't need to write queries all day long. I'd rather have the end user use filters to download data that they need and empower them so that they don't have to ask me or my boss, the HRIS coordinator, for data. This is also pretty cool because it has mobile integration. People will be able to view data and these dashboards on their mobile phones. The previous dashboard I showed you is out of the box. They're standard dashboards that come with PeopleSoft, and they can be configured, but they're basically as is. Now, part of the project scope is to provide custom dashboards, but we want to minimize that. So we will create some dashboards that can be widely used by departments at directors' requests. So in response to suggestions and feedback from department directors, custom tiles will be created utilizing Query Manager, Pivot Grids, and the Tile Manager application within PeopleSoft. So the dashboards you're seeing here in the screenshot are dashboards that I have created using Query Manager. It takes some intermediate level skills and pivot grids. Now these tiles show up-to-date real-time information, and if the user clicks on them, they will pull up a pivot grid, which is a snapshot of the data and also shows a chart and tables with individual rows that can be downloaded, and then several filters will show that the user can use to drill down into the data. Now, some examples of some dashboards I've created are pending employment forms. So these are all forms that need some kind of management intervention. So if the user clicks on this tile, they will get a list of all the different types of HRIS forms that are pending, and the employment analyst or manager that needs to sign off on those forms will be listed. So managers can follow up with their employees to make sure that these forms are approved and employment actions are taken. I've also got statistical dashboards, and these are also in real time. So for example, I've got hourly rate by gender and ethnicity. This is for pay equity, and we can have a look at the last year of data, and we can see exactly the pay difference between males, females, and any kind of ethnicity. I also have this pie chart that shows hires and rehires by gender and ethnicity over the last year. And it has some great advantages. Like I said earlier, this is real-time data. The end user has access and the power to add data filtering, data drill down, and then data downloads. And there is some customization, though we want to avoid customizing individual dashboards for every department. These dashboards will be designed to be deployed throughout the city at all departments and will be useful to individual managers because only the data for their department will be presented. Thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure working on this project, and I'm glad to see the results of it. I hope you all enjoyed my presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. This is John Blaich, Program Data Analyst in the Human Resources Department at the City of Albuquerque. And I just want to say to any city employees who are looking to advance their career, I highly recommend the Pre-Management Development Program. It's a great way to meet other managers, other employees, and to enhance your skills as a manager. Thank you for your time. I hope you all have a happy new year, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.